I didn't see you there. How's it going? How's it going, everyone? I hope all of you are doing well. My name is Chris. Thank you guys for visiting the channel today. First of all, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to all of my viewers, subscribers, and likers and dislikers. Spitting bars. I hope you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family. I know this is a very strange and hectic circumstance that we're all in, but I hope you guys are safe and I hope you guys enjoy the day with your family. So what I wanted to get into today is I just wanted to experiment a little bit with the new Drum Synth plugin that was released by Kai Professional, I believe yesterday. I think it's a super dope update just because of the fact that I was already looking into maybe purchasing a Arturia drum brute, which gives you that capability of kind of altering, creating your own drums. But now that Akai released an update to the firmware, yeah, I don't really need to go that route. Maybe in the future I might just get one just to test it out. But for now, like I am so excited about this Drum Synth plugin, and I think it's just a very, very creative feature for anyone. So yeah, enough chit chat. Let's jump into it. I'm gonna try to make a beat, obviously using that Drum Synth plugin. Let's get it. All right, guys, I fired up the MPC One and I'm ready to explore the Drum Synth. But for anyone that wants to follow these steps in terms of using the Drum Synth, you'll first need to install the 2.9 firmware into your MPC One, MPC Live, or MPC X. The way that you find out whether your firmware was correctly installed is you're going to go to the home button over here. You're going to click settings, and right here where it says MPC firmware, it should say 2.9. If you guys want a video on how to install the firmware, leave it in the comment section below. I'll be happy to make a quick video on how to install it. Okay, so once we got that all sorted out, the next thing that we want to do is we want to click this little plugin button, which is right next to your program button. So you're going to click that. And now what it's going to do is going to create a track. It's going to create a plugin program, and then you're going to have access to your plugins over here on the right side. So I'm going to click this. Now there's two ways of entering this screen. You can double click and it brings up this plugin program window, or you can click down the cursor and it brings up the window as well. Now, if for whatever reason your plugins are showing like this, all you have to do is push down the cursor and it brings in all your plugins. As you can see, these new Drum Synth plugins are obviously new with the 2.9 firmware update. Originally, what came with the MPC One when I purchased it was the bassline plugin, this electric plugin, and this tube synth plugin. Now that we know how to access our Drum Synth plugin, let's just select one. For this scenario, I'm going to select Drum Synth Multi, which means all of these Drum Synth plugins will be in just one program. So I'm going to hit select. Let's play the pads out to see what the presets sound like. Pretty neat. Now what we have to do, let's say we want to manipulate any of those sounds. So all we have to do is we're going to have to hit program edit. So as you can see, it pulled up this Drum Synth plugin program where I can adjust the parameters and change the overall tone and add effects if necessary. Now, if I go to the right, you see that it has a transient and distortion plugin built in to the whole Drum Synth software, as well as it has an EQ and a compressor. Now, the cool thing about it is you can see right now I have it to kick drum. Because I selected multi, you see that I have 1 through 5 and it goes all the way to 8, reflecting the pads that are illuminated currently. So if I want to access that snare drum, all I need to do is put Drum Synth number 2, and you'll be able to know whether you're in your snare drum because it shows a picture of the snare drum. Same with the hi-hat. There's a clap in there. Toms, percussion, and a crash. So let's start with the snare drum first. I'm going to alter the snare drum. The cool thing about this drum synth program is that you have different models. Right now it's set to a model called 80, but if I change it up here, I could change it to something that says ring or natural, band pass. So let's try a different one. Let's try natural. And as you can hear, each model number is very different from the previous one. I like this model feature because it kind of gives you a spectrum of what you can do with the sounds in this drum synth and maybe what you can't do with it. So by hearing these different tones, it shows you, okay, I can get this type of tone out of this drum synth. So I'm gonna set it back to 80, and then I'm just gonna mess around with the parameters a little bit. That way I can see if I can come up with a snare pattern that I like. Before I do that though, I'm going to turn off the EQ and I'm going to turn off the transient plugin. In order for you to be able to utilize those need to be illuminated, but because I kind of want to get the tone down first and then add that processing, that way I know what it sounds like before the processing. Otherwise I'll probably get confused. So I kind of like that tone of that snare drum. The coolest thing about this feature is that up here in the tune, the very first knob, it gives you the ability to tune it to a certain key. And I think that is freaking awesome, especially when it comes down to like kick drums. I think that feature is going to be very, very cool. And in case you want to dial in a specific frequency, this should work with any of the knobs. I hold shift and I just turn the dial and it'll go one by one. So I want to set it to F at 175. Otherwise, you know, you're going to be turning and it's going to be jumping around consistently, and that could get very annoying. So just hold down shift and then turn the knob and set it to the exact frequency that you like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my transient plugin. I'm going to turn it on so I can hear what I'm doing. And maybe I want a little bit more snappiness on it. So I'm going to play around with the attack. On purpose, I'm doing very aggressive percentage changes on the parameters just so you guys can hear what these like built-in drum synth plugins are doing. I think it's absolutely amazing that they added this little section, because a lot of the times in your digital audio workstation, you usually tend to gravitate towards adding these plugins to your kick drum, snare drum, or hi-hat because it helps you improve the sound of that drum kit by using these specific features. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to see whether I need to add a little bit of distortion to that snare drum. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to experiment a little bit just to test out the feature. The next thing I want to do is I want to add a little bit of EQ. I feel like I want a little bit more body on the low end, so I'm just going to do a slight increase around, let's say, 220 hertz. Be very careful with doing this increase because if you do it too much, it can sound very muddy. This is before. This is after. Just a little bit more low end. I want to add maybe a little bit more snappiness. So maybe about the 2 to 3K range. Just a little bit more. Even just set it to that. And last but not least, I'm going to add a compressor to it. Now, the reason why I want to add the compressor to it is because I just want to kill a little bit of that transient. Not so much that I want to squish the snappiness of the snare, but I just want to, you know, just make sure that transient isn't too overbearing. Kind of like how it sounds there. Go ahead and press record, start, so I can record that snare. Now that I like the sound of that snare hit, I'm going to try to create a drum kick. This is the preset one. So I'm going to go into Program Edit, and I'm going to adjust the parameter. All right, that's cool. I like that. Now let's move to the hi-hat. I don't think I'm gonna alter the hi-hat just because I kind of like the tone it has, actually. I think this one I might adjust. Let's try to record that. As you can hear, the drum sounds are very usable, which is very important because you obviously want something that you can incorporate into your own beats and music production. So that hi-hat, I like the tone of it. I like the way it sounds. Maybe not so much this like kind of open hat kind of cymbal, but I can adjust it to my liking for this video. I'm not going to go that far into detail because the honest truth is you can honestly spend all day just shaping the drums and getting them to the tone that you like. And that's probably the biggest downside of it, because I feel like your production hat and your sound design hat should be in two different sessions. So if you're in a session where you're just focused on making beats, adjust however you want and get as close to the tone that you like. But I would highly recommend doing a strict session of just drum shaping. And the cool thing about this is that we can resample, you know, these sounds into the MPC One or the MPC X or whatever MPC you're using. And we could make those audio waveforms. So if we want to bounce it and create maybe like a drum kit of some kind using this drum synth, it is very, very possible. Or you can record it into your DAW. Whatever works, right? Okay. So, kind of like that drum pattern. I think it's pretty cool. I think I'm going to add that clap. Now that I have a basic drum pattern down, I'm going to go back into my sample edit window. I want to get rid of that low end on this sample, so I'm going to adjust my filter to about high pass 2, and then just kind of change the cutoff to maybe about 60%. I think we can go a little bit lower. Now you hear that little like clicking sound, so I'm gonna go to my amp envelope and just kind of adjust the attack on that to about 25. It eliminates that clicking sound. So let's add a different pattern. Like, let's say I wanted to create another kick, but this one I wanted to kind of make it like an 808 or something, right? The best, before you do that, it's better to make a new program. The reason why I say to create a new program is because you do not want to get this window and click assign, because it'll basically get rid of all the progress that you made adjusting the previous plugin. So always create a new program. That way you leave the first plugin untouched, unless you really wanted to change it for the reason that you don't like it or whatever the case is. But usually that's a very important window, and I'm glad that window pops up, because it would really suck for you to do all those, you know, fine tuning on your kick, snare, or hi-hat, and then just to accidentally kind of delete it and not be able to get it back. So always create a new program and then select whatever kick drum or whatever drum synth, bass line, tube synth, etc. And that is it, everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to reach 4,000 subscribers before the year ends, and the year is almost up. So we're at 3,600 currently, so I hope to make that goal before the year ends. And I want to say, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know how I'm doing. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you want to have a conversation about dolphins or penguins or beats, hit me up on Instagram at Chris Galactic. And if you want to check out more of my music, check me out on Spotify. And I try to release music weekly, so... All right, guys, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy your day with your family. Please stay safe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.